not live what he was talking about. Take this bread and eat it. And he ain't eat none. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, look, the bread might be poison. You're going to pass it out here and you don't get meat. But Paul ate it, let you know the bread is all right.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. In the meantime, I just like to share to you what I want to say. Terry's having a problem getting here on Wednesday nights because the bridge or something, she might get lost in the weather and stuff that she have to, you know, it closes at a certain time, and she can't get back.
Yeah.
Of course, now Troy, he knows how to get around. He traveled all over the world, so he knows how to get around. She don't know. That's why I just want y'all. I didn't want y'all to think that she just, you know, I'm talking about Terry in Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, broken in prayer. 36. Then were they all of good cheer. See how they got a good cheer? The bread is all right. It didn't kill Paul. God provided. They could see in Paul's life a thing to be cheerful about. Now in this here good cheer, they was all in good cheer. So now their faith is kicking in. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Paul must know what he's talking about, man. That God that Paul talking about must be all right. So now they got some hope. Because they watched the example of Paul's, what he doing. So it says, and then they know if we follow Paul, and they also took some meat. So they ate too. Now they get this with strength. 37 verse says, and we were in all in the ship 200 316 souls. Now y'all do the math, right? That's about 270 some odd 270 some odd people, I guess. Huh?
Whole lot of folk.
Yeah. So that's and he said that's why you know that Luke is the writer of Acts, and when Luke said we, he's included that he's on the ship also. So look how God works. God got a reporter of the story, or editor, whatever you call them, on the ship to make sure that this story gets out. God evidently wanted this story to get out, so Luke is a doctor also. See, but he traveled around writing behind Paul's story. Okay. So now, so they did eat. 38 verse says, and when they had eaten enough, they lightened the ship and cast out the wheat unto the sea. Now what's happening now? This is very important. After they ate, they got enough. Remember, they eat for what the purpose? What I think the purpose was for them eating? Strength. Now they done ate enough. They full now. They got enough food. Now and they cast the wheat off to lighten the ship. Cast the wheat off.
Is that the non-believers?
Now, what was this ship? What was this ship?
Full of heathens.
The main. Okay.
Right.
But what was the purpose of this ship for just everyday worldly use? It was a wheat carrier. It carried wheat. That was its main thing. It carried wheat. That was so they got wheat all over the packs because that's the main cargo. Now remember they threw some cargo off before they lightened the ship.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't throw the wheat off because the wheat is what's gonna pay their bills. The wheat is the financial what's it called? So they threw off the lesser stuff first, rather than throw off the most important part of the wheat. Now, but after they got full, Paul had told them to eat because remember he said this is good for your health. Now after they done eat, and the health of their salvation, because he wanted them to eat so they have strength to go against the task. Now here go the task. And when they had eaten enough, they lightened the ship and cast out the wheat into the sea. They would not been able to cast this wheat off if they had not ate first to have the strength. And now they throwing the wheat away. Now what's the point? What am I trying to drive home? They lighted the ship once before. They lighted the ship so that the ship would come up the first time. Cargo they had. So now the ship would come up and ride higher on the water rather than being up on, okay? And the storm. So now, but it's still it's a load on there because you got all them people on there plus the wheat. So now they got to throw the wheat off to lighten the ship even more. But so what's the point now? What's the point? What can y'all see in that spiritually?
So you gonna stay in the same place in the spirit.
Yeah, Cheryl. Yeah. Come on, come on now. You kind of right there. Say it again, Cheryl. Huh? Say what you say?
When you lighten it up, it's from being heavy,
Right.
and it rises and less water.
Exactly.
I would say it's like the symbol of heaven. Like when you up in heaven, it's like lighter. It's like
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cheryl.
Lifting your burdens. Your burdens off.
Here we go.
Make you move.
Yeah. That's what I want you to. There's some things in your life. You're in water. The world of water. Trouble. Wind is blowing. You're on a ship of salvation. Right? And a cargo that's traveling. Now you took some weight off way back there so that your ship could lighten up. But now, but you still in a whole lot of tear and wind. But notice this wheat is your money for the ship.
Yeah.
And not for the prison, but for the guys who got to carry. That's valuable to them to get that wheat to Rome. That's coming from Egypt
It's income.
to Rome. Right. That's their money. But ain't your life more important? Y'all remember me preaching about the sermon about don't worry? And Jesus said that you gotta learn to put this Bible together. When Luke made a report, Luke could write it, and he said, "Don't worry, for ain't life more important than meal?" And y'all remember me? I put a title, "Don't worry." In other words, what good to have a full stomach and go to hell with a full stomach? Wouldn't it be better to go to heaven with an empty stomach? That's what he said, like that heaven. Wouldn't it be better to have an empty stomach, be poor out there in the street, and go to heaven, than to be rich and full and go to hell with?
yeah.
Well, so food then, priority, life comes before food. Because this is food they throwing off here now. Are y'all following me? But your life is more important. We can get some more food if we can continue to live. Can you see what I'm saying? Now notice why Paul wanted them to have this strength in order to take care of this. This wheat is not just stacked up now. Get the picture here. This wheat is not just stacked up the way we put it on the ship. Oh, we put it nice and neat when we first put it on the ship. One lump here, another stack here, another stack here, another stack here, whatever. There you go. It's wheat floating all over. Can you see what I'm saying? This is wheat now. It's all over because the wind been blowing and the water been away, and the wheat ain't stacked up in a little neat little corner no more. It's so now. In order for that, you got to struggle and try to get it. It's difficult. The water hit. It's difficult. You need. That's why Paul said this is your salvation. And a lot of times in our life, like Cheryl said about your burdens, it's going to take strict because your burden comes in from all sorts of angers, and it ain't just sitting in one little neat little spot.
No, it's not.
You know, can you see? Are y'all following? Say this is a big ship here that these guys is on.
Yeah.
Wheat floating and bumping in there and knocking and going on, and you got to take. Okay, so because it's all scattered. But your life now is more important than the wheat. So they throw the wheat into the sea. So like a lot of times in your wheat is another thing that you would enjoy. We see wheat now as a thing of pleasure. Because it's pleasurable to eat.
Oh, yeah.
So we see wheat now as a thing of pleasure. So you think about the wheat in your life. You don't want to get rid of your wheat. That's the last thing. Now you threw away some other stuff. But when it comes down to your wheat, come on now, y'all. I'm not gonna ask you what your wheat is. I'm not gonna ask you what your wheat is. Some of you went out here the other night and then come to church because you didn't throw away your wheat. Yeah, you find excuses to keep your wheat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's a valuable thing to you. So you can throw away something. Well, I quit something, but that's sometimes that wheat. That's the last. But when life and death come, you may find out I better get rid of my wheat in order to keep.
Yes. Yes.
So they threw the wheat away. So all right. So they threw it. So third night verse says, and when it was day, now it's day now, they can see a little clearly. They knew not the land, but they discovered a certain creek with a shore into the which they were minded, if it were possible to thrust in the ship. Now look, the wind had been blowing, that's a storm. They emptied the ship with the where the wheat, empty their wheat, and they wind up in a land that they're not familiar with. Ain't that a straight? Do that say anything to anybody? You are familiar with a lot of territories in your life. Some of you here, right here in Faith Tabernacle, I know for George, you have been familiar with churches. Some of y'all might not have been in churches, but I know George has been, churches or not. And when you first came here, you were not familiar in this strange land. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. She was familiar with traditional preaching. Lord is good, tradition. And God here, the whole thing was strange land. You didn't, it took time. And Reverend Gaffney, you came here, Reverend Gaffney. Reverend Gaffney came, he said, you know what? Said, we got to be unlearned. Strange territory in order to learn. Now, he was a minister. But he realized when he got here, what he thought. He realized, wait a minute. This is a strange land. So a lot of times, y'all thought this is why I'm so hard. If y'all are in a strange land. I know it's a land that you're not familiar with. You don't recognize. This is not the same just ministry that just goes on down, hee-haw, and ha, your ship coming in. It's not that type of ministry. You're used to that. But I want you to see here that and sometimes even in your life, you'll find yourself after the storm have kind of cooled down and it blowed you and shook you up and shook some things up in you and shook some things out of you. You may find yourself in a strange territory. You're not familiar with yourself. And I didn't know that I was that big of a mess, or maybe I didn't know that I was that strong. I didn't, or whatever the strange territory is of that land that you're not familiar with. And y'all overhaul it, because I don't have time to deal with that, all that. But I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to get across. And you just keep focusing where your strange land came in at. Sometimes you're in a strange land. It could be right there in your home, and you realize, wait a minute, my neighbor, they are different from what I thought. It's a strange. You're not familiar with the area. That's what he's trying to say. Or that action. Not familiar. Sometimes some of us, as people get, a lot of people that's married and whatever relationship, they wind up, as people get older, they find out that this person goes into a land that I didn't have no idea. That I was, that ain't the one that we got hooked up into another land, and I'm not familiar with that land. The land I was at, I was used to. Come on now, I want y'all to just overhaul the whole thing. Just don't see somebody lost or okay. But just look, you'll see it sometimes. Someone come up on television, probably tomorrow morning, you'll say, yeah, that's strange land, man. I didn't know. That's how I want y'all to learn how to see things. Okay. So now they was in the strange land, they knew not. But they discovered, and look where they're at in the strange land. They're wandering over here now, because the strange land you kind of lost. But it got a cold in there. You ain't completely out of control, but they discovered a certain creek with a shore into which they were thought, if it were possible, they would stretch into the ship. So now in this strange land, and they found out as the storm shook them around, turned around different way, they discovered a creek. Y'all know what a creek is? A creek is a little bigger. It's smaller than let me see. It's a little bit bigger, maybe I think, than a river. Smaller than a river. Yeah, a little smaller. Yes, creek. It's smaller than a river. It's smaller than a river. But it
Bigger than a pond, yeah.
Yeah, it's a channel, a bay.
You can walk across the creek.
Yeah.
You step across it.
Yeah.
It is running water.
It's running water, but it's not a great big body of water. It's a little larger than just a little stream. But
a creek, then you got the branch.
Yeah, a branch. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Come off to the creek.
And so it's a little smaller. So what they see, they begin to see a little a shore, with a shore. So first they run them out, and they've been on this water all these days. Now remember they know what these ships that we go on just go over there in a week and come around. This thing it can take them some year or months and stuff to get to where they try to go to. So they've been out there all that wind and stuff. So when they see this, they see a little relaxation in this here creek. Now so every now and then a little daylight might break up in your life after being shook up. You might see a little daylight, might see a little creek. And first thing you run about, let me go here and rope-a-dope and rest for a minute. You know, you kind of want to get off the main course. This is what I'm trying to get you to see. You kind of get off the main course of your ups and downs or your burdens and things like this here, and you have a mind, if it's possible, to thrush. Y'all know what that means? Just thrush in the ship. You see this little place, kind of where you can kind of get off the main sea of danger, and kind of scoop in here for a little relaxation, a little shelter, a little cover. Y'all follow what I'm saying? You get me? So they get this little ship, and they want this here word thrust me to push. And you just don't go to them. When you push, you just don't walk right into your little creek. Hey! See, it ain't that kind of just walk right in. Sometimes you got to kind of push. That's what this thrust is. They were looking for a place to kind of to push this big ship. Now, what is the reason for going into this big ship? I mean, into this here creek. Stop and think about it. On the ship, on the sea, that went ooh, and putting you all around it. But if I get in here where the shore is, right? The ship is, it got sides.
It is settled.
Kind of rather than just spin me around all over the place, I'm right in. I'm into a little trench here. Yeah, I'm kind of in a little wall, kind of keep me from going completely haywire. So sometime in our life, if we can find some area, I remember my son here. He found a creek in his spiritual life. Okay, you know, drinking heavily, but by every first Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First weekend.
First week of
The month of each month. His creek was, I ain't gonna drink nothing the whole weekend. I used to look forward for that piece.
7 days.
7 days of that creek. A lot of people didn't understand, but that was important. That creek was important. 7 days, I wasn't running up and down the highway looking for this food here and what he done. Telephone not ringing. Now that don't seem important, but I mean, now I broke that down to you so that you can understand where your creek is. You know, it might not be the whole whatever, but that creek is a wall of a little where you want to push into, and you can't wait like these guys here to push off the main stream of problems to get this little piece. Go ahead, Sheriff.
Sometimes you just have to get comfortable in God, knowing He in control.
Yes, you do.
Because you take it to yourself and you toss and turn with it.
Exactly.
Like, you try to find the answers out for yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes you just have to surrender
Mm-hmm.
to give it all to God.
Okay.
So you can get a rest.
Exactly. You need that little creek. The kind of y'all follow what I'm saying? You had your hand up.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to get to when you're talking about the thrust is that in this day and age, it always seems as though it's never like 24 hours is never enough. Like my creek now is my daughter's little playtime on the weekend. I mean, I never really, between work, getting off of work, picking them up, trying to do, you know, a couple hours exercise on one night, come to Bible study on one night, exercise again. Then you got Friday, then we got the prayer line. Then you got, you know, it's always you got something. And I wake up on Saturday morning. I wake up early. I got to start trying to pay bills. You know what I mean? It's you never get a chance to relax. I mean, I don't remember the last time I really had a chance to wake up on a Saturday morning and go back to sleep, eat breakfast and go back to sleep. Gotta clean the house. Gotta mow the lawn. Gotta go shopping. It's always gotta. The thrust part comes in when you have to like actually force yourself. I ain't talking about no bum. Some people just lazy. I'm talking about when you have to force yourself to rest. You have to force yourself to sit down and watch a show.
You gotta take me time.
You know what I mean? You have to force yourself to
Yeah.
save up money. I mean, you know, a concert's coming to Atlantic City. You actually have to force yourself to save up money to go to that. You understand what I mean? You have to you have to force it rather than coming up with I gotta. You know, and I think that's more or less.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to get you to understand the thrusting means that to push.
Yeah.
And they said if possible.
Mhm.
So you have to look for the possibility where you can push into that, force into that creek. And that creek, like I said, is like kind of like a particular. It keep you out there in the open. Boom, the wind just spin you around, round and around, all kind of way. But in that creek, you know, all right, you're following me kind of a little bit of a
Not
land.
tossing
Yeah.
so much.
And when they had taken up the ankle, now they had lowered the ankles back earlier. Because why did they lower the ankles? Because of the torsion of the wind and stuff. They were trying to lower the ankles. What they were trying, they were hoping that it would slow the ship down. It ain't tied them down.
No.
See, they wasn't tied down. But they slowed. They maybe slowed them down from just traveling too fast. You know, follow me?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it wasn't like they were sitting out there rocking. They still traveling.
Right.
But the ankle is kind of dragging. You know what I mean? But at least its weight kind of might kind of hit some of every now and then, kind of drag them, slow them down a little bit. Look what they did. They are they committed themselves unto the sea and loosened the rudder bands and hoist up the mainsail to the wind and made towards flow. So now this is why they need. That's why they need to eat again. For all this work, that's what Paul was saying for your salvation. All right, they need to take up the ankles. Now the ankles is heavy, right? I mean, so now they got to take up the. Now they got them because they want to. Why they take up the ankles?
They move.
Again, they lighten the ship, taking up the ankle so that if possible, and they let up this main shield, you know, the main sail, hoping that wind can guide them into this here this here creek.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, and it said, but what? Notice the key thing they did up here. After they took up the ankle is something that holds you into. It's a weight, and it sort of holds you.
Yeah.
You every now and then got to kind of loop. Come on, feel.
Yeah.
Come on.
You every now and then got to get them ankles out the way so that you can float into the creek. This is why they move the ankles. Your stumbling blocks, your excuses. And a lot of ankles, we have a lot of ankles that keeps us in the same mess. Now they gonna stay in the same mess if they see a way out, they see a way of salvation, they see a way of a little moment of peace. But sometimes we want to still hang on to our ankle. I got a problem with one of my family members now. They keep hanging on to the ankle. Man, I mean, look, we all suffer. Pick up the ankle. You got excuses why you don't come here and learn. You might, if you were here tonight, you might learn how to pick up the ankle. But no, you got an excuse. And you keep the ankle and the ankle. See, right in the same storm. Maybe if you just learn how to pick up the ankle and submit yourself. Look what they did. They took up the ankle. Next thing they did, they submit. You know what submit means? Committed. You know what I mean? Leave alone. You got to turn the problem loose. You can't keep putting the scab on. Every time you get a scab, you remind it. Ceremony. You know what I mean? Listen, I love my daddy and my mother. I really did. Well, I mean, my daddy and mother was, to me, they was what mother and father was supposed to be. But when they buried my daddy, I left. Good thing I was saved. I was preaching. I left. That's it. I said, you remember that? Nope. I ain't gonna keep coming back there memorizing the tune. No. See, I ain't going every year. Here I go around. No. That all that do is pull the scale every year. I'll be crying until the next year. Next year. No! You gotta, out there sound hard? It ain't hard. Jesus, he tell you, leave it alone. Let the dead bury their gone. And get life. quick pulling the scale back, reminding, and that stuff is just dragging. All you know, you live a life of it, just drag over and over, over and over. Submit themselves. It said they submit themselves to the sea. So every now and then, what does it submit themselves to the sea? The sea was a problem. Now, let me tell you what sea is. You know what sea is? What y'all think the sea is? Write it down because you ain't gonna remember. I've told you before, but you ain't gonna remember. Who is that? Somebody on the telephone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all know what the sea is? Look what the sea is. It says they submitted themselves. That means they left it alone. Right? Submit means to leave it alone, or it means to let be. It also means permit. Y'all got that?
Wait a minute, well, you losing
What
it.
permitted? That's what it.
Oh, that's the one. Well, what is C? What did you say?
Wait a minute. I ain't got the C yet. I'm trying to get the committed. Committed. I said y'all don't know what the C is, but I'm trying to get committed first. Committed means leave alone. I told y'all that first, right?
Yeah.
It means to let be.
Right.
Excuse me.
It means permit. All that is take your hands off of it. That's all it boils down to. Get out the way.
Yeah.
What's in your way? You. Get out the way. They submitted themselves. Okay? Unto what? The sea. Now sea means this here. Salt. Salt. S-A-L-T. Salt. Y'all got that?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you what salt is. It ain't talking about no little salt that's water. But we know they're on water. That's what you're going to learn Sunday morning in other churches. You're going to learn about the sea. You're going to see, everybody going to see them out there floating around in some water. It said they submit themselves not to the water. They submit themselves to salt. That's what the word sea means. All right. It also means salt. This is what salt means. Salt means preserving. Preserving. Right? Let me know if you got it. It also means give flavor. You know, have y'all ever cooked that they don't put no salt in it?
Bland. No taste.
Ain't got no taste.
Tastes good.
Ain't got no flavor. Okay. Next thing it means to enrich. Enrich. Now with that meaning, somebody tell me what you see there. Don't use saying the word see. And what did that mean in your life? What did they let go? What did they let themselves go to? Preserve? Go ahead, Frank.
Flavor.
Go ahead.
Well, right here in the beginning it says, and when they had taken up the anchors.
Okay, they ain't tied down no more.
He's giving you a situation. Step one. Step two. The first step is to let go of the anchors, which and these things is heavy, just like he said. These things, you know, if anybody's seen a cruise ship, if you've seen the size of them anchors, some of them look as big as this church is. Almost, you know what I mean? Deep. I don't care what it is. You can get into a routine of just not, let's just say Wednesday night, of just not coming. The day you get ready to come, you will be surprised how hard it is to come. You'll be surprised. You'll be on the job all day. I'm going to go ahead on into service tonight. When you get off of work, believe me, your head going to hurt, your eyes, the baby crying, everything. And you had, I'll make it next week. I'll do it Sunday. Whatever the case is, you can commit to, I don't know, losing weight. You can commit to anything.
Yeah, that's me. With that working
But
out.
But every time you get ready to do it, this weight it stops. And I'm not going against what the past is, but the anchor, if it is dug into the ground, when they let the anchor down, it's not really to slow them down. They let the anchor down, and the anchor goes all the way down to the bottom. And when it hits the ground, it stops. Boom! It yanks in, and it stops. Pulling it up, and you ain't just pulling up the anchor now. You're pulling it out of the ground. Something that you've been used to doing, something that you've been used to thinking. You understand? Some way that you've just been used to being. So you got to get rid of all that first. The next thing he was telling us was they committed. And he said that means let alone. Well, you're steady pulling this anchor up, but you still have to, you got the anchor, you're pulling it up, but it's still there. You understand what I mean? So you have to let it alone. Once you hang it up, you have to let it alone. And like he was saying, stop revisiting it. Stop revisiting it. The next thing, and it's also, if I would commit, would that be determined also?
You can say determined if you want to. I mean,
They
determined.
determined themselves to be preserved. If they stay there anchored, they're just going to waste away. You're wasting away. But if you determine yourself, man, I am not, like he was just saying about me with the 7 days. I used to call it, my 7 or whatever it was. I had to determine myself not to be a funky drunk. For Frank Nitty, that was something, man. That wasn't just stop drinking. It wasn't like that with me. First of all, I didn't think that I was a drunk because I'm Frank Nitty. They knew I was a drunk. I didn't because of who I was. So I had to let go of that anchor. Then I had to determine myself to not be Budweiser everywhere, games, parties, women, my friends, my family, and I had to determine myself. You understand what I'm saying? That's something fierce. So he's saying, why? Because I wanted to be a good preacher. I wanted to be a good father. I wanted to stay on a job for longer than a year. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I wanted to preserve myself.
And give, okay, anybody else? Preserve. I'm talking about the sea now. See, you're talking about salt.
Right.
Preserve. What else is it?
Enrich.
Enrich. Y'all know what enrich means. What do you mean? Enrich means to invalue something. You take you rededicate your priorities. Remember they threw the wheat off. The life came the more priority than the wheat did. Enrich me or your father, so your valuables goes into and favor. I mean flavor. I mean when you get into the Word of God, it's supposed to have some taste to it. It's supposed to have some kind of flavor. Other than that, it's just like who said it? Bland. Nothing. This is what they did. Took this. They let go and watch them. Now what happened with and loosened the rudder band. Now you know what the rudder band is? That's the little thing that the pedals like. I mean see y'all ever seen them boys out there on the canoe?
Is the rudder the thing that steers?
Yeah, but in that thing it represents the power of them.
The oars.
We didn't have today they got different ways of doing it, more modern. But them guys kind of had to like out there you steer by this here.
Like rowhouse. I thought the rudder was the little thing in the.
That is.
In the back.
It is. But we're talking way back. They had it in modern stuff where we got, yeah. They had to let them things down and and all the men, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like boathouse. Road.
Yeah. See, it ain't like we can get in the car and turn the switch on. Like that. Okay. So they let them down. Let them out the bands, right? And then they host up the now host mean what? Means what?
Lift up.
Lift up.
Right.
All right. They lift up the sail. Now, in other words, the host means that they lifted up the sail, the main sail, to the wind, and they kind of let the wind help guide them to the waters here. This here creek and the rudders, as the wind kind of becomes to help the motor blow, and the other kind of helps them drive to this here to Rudder's creek. Now spiritually, when you loosen the rudder, see a lot of us has still got our rudders. That's what I want y'all to see. Band it up. See the rudders. You're on the ship. Look, you're on the ship. And you got your rudders tucked under here. See, but you got to take the band off and let these rudders fall back in the water so they can woof, woof, woof. No, are y'all following me? As long as they just took up on the hill, in order you kind of got to guide yourself. That's what I'm trying. See, if you just one sided, whoop one sided,
We going in a circle.
you go in a circle. See, so are you following me? So you got to kind of let the run. But as long as they keep up in the band, it just go wherever the wind blows. Okay, can y'all guys? That's what I'm trying
And
to
right
get
there, I believe what you're saying
let-
is
and let the-
focus.
Huh?
You have to have some sort of
Some kind of
focus
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
and guidance. You know what I
yes,
mean?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then you let your sail, main loosen sail, raise your sail. In other words, what now raising our sail, the main sail. What is raising our main sail? Hosting the main sail. The mind.
Okay.
You had something else that you said.
No, I'm good.
No, we just thought, come on, it might.
No, I'm
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm reading.
I believe it's something else, but
But go ahead. Well, come on.
What is it for you?
okay. I had, like I said, I seen the steps because they trying to make a move. People want to make moves. I ain't talking about no bum. I'm talking about somebody that want to make a move to heighten themselves, right?
Yes.
Let go to anchors. We all understood that. Excuses. Committed. That's talking about have a determination. You know what I'm saying? Determine yourself. Loose the rudders. If you talk about guidance and steering, you know, some things you gotta travel around. You have to have a focus.
All right.
No, not tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, tonight. You know, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? You have to have
Okay.
some guidance.
All right.
And if you really want to underline something, all of that's good, the first part. But when they hoist up the mainsail to the wind, faith in the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is what I want you to see.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to see. The host means what?
Lift up.
To lift up. And if you lift up, see, mainsail to the wind, to the spirit. Wind in scriptures means
Yes.
talk spirit.
Talk to spirit. Yeah.
Okay. You lift up. Now, only way that you're gonna receive good spirit if you got to be lifted up. You took the weight off. You done took the anchor. You got your. Are y'all following me?
Yeah.
This is what you're doing here now. Is doing what? Hosting. Y'all follow me? That's what prayer meeting and Sunday morning service and any other service that we have in midday services, all of the things that we have in services is to do what? To host up the sail. The sail is the motor. What's gonna get you over to the other side? Are you following me? The spirit is God. That's the wind. In scriptures, wind represents spirit.
Always.
You can't see the wind the same way you can't see. So that's why they use this. Okay. Now y'all understand me. All right. So the wind and made toward to the shore. So they let go. They committed themselves to that. So when they let things go, they let God take over. So to speak, with all them things with that. All right. Now and fell into a place where two seas. Now look at here. Two seas met. Oh boy. Now y'all got that?
That's crossroads.
There you go. Wait a minute. Now let me finish. They ran the ship aground, and the fore part stuck fast and remained unmovable, but the hinge part was broken with violence of the wave. All right. Now after they got ready to go to the shore, the wind, they let the winds up. Look what happened. They fell into a place here. Now watch as it falls. God will still allow you to have a choice. Two seas.
Yes.
Are you following me? Now, which one you want to travel? Okay, well, you know, but the whole thing of it here. Look what it says. This word here, M-E-T. M-E-T means this here. Huh?
That is awesome.
Yes, it
It
is.
is.
Now look, you fall into two seas.
Yes.
Two things here. Now, two salts.
Yeah.
Are y'all following me?
Yeah.
Which salt look the best to you? Or which salt did you? Okay, now I'm just trying to throw something out at you. All right. Now look what met means. Met means it's time now when you get to these two seas, two salts. Met, M-E-T, means consider. It's time to consider now. Y'all got that?
Yes.
It also means encounter. Y'all know what encounter means? Y'all remember me preaching one time about the man that had all them devils in him, and he met Jesus. And y'all remember me tell you about what met Jesus don't mean that he just walked up and they was there.
Right.
Encounter means contact. I mean it means
Conflict.
conflict.
Somebody said that.
Who said that? Somebody said it?
conflict.
Yeah. Encounter, that's what it means. Attack also. Okay, y'all got that? So now get that picture in your life. When you get to these two C's, Dante, what happens?
They meet.
You got one C said, let me taste all night long of what Vic. I'm just messing with Dante. Another one says, Dante, you should be reading the scriptures. You can preserve either one you want. You can put flavor in either one you want. But consider. When you consider, it means count the cost. Now, if I watch Vic, I'm not having anything against Vic. Now, don't y'all miss out. I'm just trying to get y'all to get up. I'm just doing the point.
Watch Vic, you gonna get mad.
If you watch Vic, gonna get mad. If I taste, I'm gonna wake up with a headache. You need to consider. But if I read the scripture, I won't have no headache. I'll be alert. So, all right, go ahead. I'm just trying to. I got to move on, but I just.
A lot of times when you have a choice, you know the right. God knows you know it.
Mhm.
See, that's why you say He knows your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know the right choice, but you still do the wrong thing.
That's right.
You do according to.
Yeah, what you want. Whatever that's because you choose the wrong. You choose the wrong salt. You choose the salt that you want.
But you also pay for your mistakes.
But
He forgives
exactly,
you.
exactly.
You ask for forgiveness.
And you
but it's
preserve
still
and you preserve a hangover headache.
It's
I'm
still
just
costing.
but I'm just trying. I'm throwing things out there like that so that you can get a grip on. Get, yeah, I know it. And preserve the headache. That's what I'm trying to say. And have flavor of the headache. Okay. Enrich the headache and all that. I'm just trying to show you two sides. The two C's. Okay. Now the two C's, but look what happened here. It says, now, and they ran the ship aground. Y'all know what that means? Ran the ship aground. That means it's just like a sand or a bank or something, you know. Okay? Aground. In other words, they settled. They settled into like now look what happened. And the forepart, that's the front part, stuck fast. It stuck. And remained unmovable. Now that's what's important. What's important about that, anybody? The front part. Drove in there and stuck. And it's locked in.
Good thing.
Y'all remember Paul said put on the whole armor?
Whole armor, yeah.
Yes,
All up front.
it's all on the front.
All up front. Ain't nothing in the back. Satan just tearing up all that back. You know what I'm trying to get y'all to see here? If you drive your ship into this here creek and put the order in the proper place after loosening all the bands and the ankles and all that kind of stuff like that, and drive your ship into the ground, rooted. Y'all don't get me. It's stuck.
Solid rock.
It's there, the front part. Your head, your mind, your focus is on Christ. The front part. The back part is tore up. In other words, God is doing what? Erasing your. Good boy, y'all don't feel nothing. Good grief, y'all can't even read behind it. God is erasing your track record. It don't count now, Satan. The back part is tore up. Well, I remember when old Frank was. Yes, that's what it was. When old Frank was. It's cracked up now. The back part.
It's all gone.
But the front part is boom.
Stuck fast.
Going forward.
Can y'all feel that?
Come on. Come on.
I see where you're at, but I had a contrary, not contrary, but a different view when I seen the front part, because they in this here C, they got two ways to go, and it says the front part of the ship was stuck in the ground. It was stuck hard in the ground. They couldn't move it. And what do you do with something you can't do nothing about? So, hold on, let me finish. Automatically, you're saying, okay, I was on my way to college. My mom and pop, they spent the money, and now I can't go to college. There's nothing I can do. So that part is stuck in the ground. I can't move it. But the back part, which gets broken, it's a harder part. I mean, it ain't the same ship that I was riding on, But this is the part that breaks up, whereas though they're going to be able to float and continue again because you see what I'm saying?
I see what you say, but you're off track for me.
Okay.
The picture here is Paul that had a vision with the Lord.
Yeah.
That if you do what I say, I'm paraphrasing now, ain't nobody gonna lose a hair on their head.
Right.
Are y'all following me? Paul done told them don't get off. They wanted to get off the ship before Paul told them, if they get off of it, they ain't gonna make it. If they stay on here, they're gonna be alive. God done promised this.
Okay.
We're not talking about that, not in the sense that you talk about. I want you to see what God is doing toward what He had already promised.
Yeah.
He took it, they done done what they're supposed to be doing. Now, since you've been obedient, you're stuck right here. Salvation. Paul told him way over here. Help. You were screwing that door back there. Where you help. Paul said, that's your salvation. Here is the salvation. Here's your salvation. You're stuck here. You got to the other shore. To the shore. You got to the land. Heaven is our land. Heaven is our land. It's the promised land. It's the place that we come out the storm over all of this in victory. Are y'all following me? Watch where I'm going. Stay with me now. Don't get off the page here. Now you're stuck there and it's unmovable because why? You got favor, you got preserve. All it keeps you walking in the right way here. Are y'all following me? All right, the hint part, your record is tore up. Satan can't follow the right track record no more because it's all messed up because God done chopped and broke it up. Now watch here. And the soldiers' council, here go the soldiers here, council, watch, and the soldiers' council was to kill the prisoner. They still ain't got it, the soldiers are, they still really ain't got it, lest any of them should swim out and escape. They got a thing in mind. See, there's two ships here, two seas. And these guys, they followed Paul, but they're not really they're not stuck. Paul is stuck. They're not really stuck. Paul is stuck. He already told them what the Lord done said. This, and watch it now. Maybe it'll come to you. And so what he's saying here, these guys are saying, okay, the reason why they wanted to kill him was because of the fact that was if they don't get if any of these prisoners get away, then Rome was ready to hang them for whatever crime that he got. That was the thing for Rome. So they figured like if I kill them all, you know what I mean, at least they all none of them get away. Y'all read that. You can understand that a little bit, but y'all kind of understand there was a law. They were afraid to let any criminal get away. They had to pay for it. They said, but the central willing to save Paul kept them from their purpose and commanded that they which could swim would cast themselves first into the sea and get into the land. The land is our what? That's our purpose. That's our goal. Now, that's what was promised. Are you following me? That God had promised them way back. And in spiritual reality here, once we get, front part of us get stuck in there, and my record, like in the 23rd song, where the Lord come back and no, not the shadow, but at the end of the verse, mopping up my mess up here. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. And I'm able to get to that land, and the rest, some on board and some on broken pieces off the ship. And it came to pass that they escaped all safe to the land. And the reason why they escaped to the land because of the fact that in spiritual life, when your record, past record, have been broken up, this is what I'm trying to get you to see. Past record have been erased, broken up, and you're stuck into that front part of your salvation. Into that. Now, I ain't talking about being stuck in a mess. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the promise. This is on a different page here. This is in a different setting. The promise of being, this is a blessing. You got cursing and blessing. This is a blessing stuck. I'm trying to get you to see. I'm not talking about the curse blessing, the thing that you were talking about. I couldn't get to college or something other that I got stuck into a situation. That's not what that's not the promise here. I'm talking about the promise of God here. How God worked it for that purpose. Do you understand that?
I understand. It's just that when I'm looking at the story, I just see, like I said, that to me what's standing out in bold letters is the front part where I thought I was supposed I was raised to be a doctor, whatever the case is. Didn't happen. It got stuck right here, right? And it ain't nothing I can do about it. It's unmovable. But because God still has a purpose in my life, he makes a way. But the back part, which is movable, there is another route to get to the land, was broken up with violence. It's not comfortable, but it is another route. Satan's still after me. We're going to kill him. We're going to kill him. The next verse, but then God comes in, but the centurion, willing to save Paul, said, no, we're going to defeat that purpose. We ain't going to kill him. Well, then he says, anybody that can swim. The front part, your dream is done. What you thought is done. But they got to the land actually by swimming. Some of them got to the land by floating on some of them boards that God himself broke off. I didn't think that I was going to come to church by going to jail. You understand what I'm saying? He never thought he was going to come to church become a preacher by just saying, hey, Deacon Rice, how are you? You got an opening? No. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us came in on them boards that was floating. We thought we was going to get to church or get to heaven or get rich or get married or would have a girlfriend, have kids. Most people that got kids right now, they probably thought they was going to have 2 kids, a wife, a dog, a picket fence. And it didn't happen. But God broke, you understand what I mean, and gave you some boards to float on, and you can still get to that land.
That's true.
I mean, that's the angle
that is the angle there. That's true. But the bottom line is all of that has to do with you getting stuck in God's purpose. That's all I'm trying to get you to see. I ain't talking about all that. The first part of it is you got stuck in it, but the rest of it is salvation. How you got there on the boards and those who can swim. The first part is if you didn't get stuck, you ain't getting to the land. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. You get stuck, and the record is Satan is not able to throw that back up no more. That's what I want you to see. All the rest of it is good how you got there, but
I see.
Satan is not able to say they ain't got no business on the land. Why? How? What do you mean? It ain't no track record. It ain't there. You follow me? I didn't say they didn't do it. I said it ain't there. Ain't no backyard. Only front. Only crank. No tail. Ain't got no tail. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to follow. Okay. Now all the rest of it, yeah. I mean, all that different angles about the boards and things, yeah. But it's just that stuck part is the first part that I want you to see, and your back record. Folks say to bring up your back record how long you been drunk.
I smack him in the head one of these 2x4s. And I throw it over here with it.
But can y'all see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Always, it's a was. Your whole journey that you left from where you left, way back on that where Paul come from, the whole journey was hell until they got to this here place here, and God broke up, and you ain't gonna be on that thing on there. All right, go to church and go.